I may do a little boasting, I broke the record for the shortest time to get a PhD at Harvard. And then I was made on the junior faculty. I was an assistant professor, then became associate professor, full professor. So when I was assistant professor, I was only 23, 24. And I had a fat salary. And I had lots of time on my hands. That's how I learned law. I went to Harvard Law School, sat in the classes, didn't take a degree, but learned law that. And you could go to one of the greatest libraries called the Widener Library, where you try and find it. So learning that, I came to two conclusions. One is that India was still at least 1200, the most developed society of the world, not only economically but socially, mathematically or scientifically, whatever, all fields, we were dominant. And today, some acknowledgement is there that the decimal point was provided by us, 0 was provided, otherwise you're writing in Roman numerals, which is very clumsy. So algebra, trigonometry, mathematics, calculus, everything can be traced to India. And slowly this is being accepted. Even rocketry, if you go to the books, they say the first rocket which was launched was by the Hindus. So this had a huge impact on me. And we remained as the two most developed societies till about 1820, 1830, that is India and China. With China gradually overtaking because of the effect of foreign invasions and so on. And the second thing which struck me was actually brought to my notice by one of my Saudi Arabian students, who told me that, can you explain to us, and there's a question, he says, my university in Riyadh wants me to get an answer from you. How is it that India is still 80% plus Hindus? I was taken aback by this question, and I asked him, can you explain what is the context? I mean, I am teaching mathematical economics and economy of China, and this man springs this question. Of course, it was outside the class. He said, you see, Islamic history shows that whichever country we conquered, we have converted 100% of the population to Islam. The Zoroastrians were ruling Persia. Islam conquered it. It took them, I think, less than 15 years to convert it to 100% Islam. The few Parsis, Zoroastrian existing are in India because they came here as refugees. The second thing, and the same thing with Mesopotamia and Babylon, which is now called Iraq, Egypt. And he also said that Europe was converted to Christianity in 50 years. But in your country, there must have been 600, 700 years of Islamic rule and 200 years of Christian rule through the British, and yet you are 80%. What is the reason for it? So I went into the Widener Library and started looking, and I found every part of India there was a rebellion. It is not being reported in the history textbooks. You see, Vijayanagara Empire, for example, ruled for 300 years, went right up to the borders of Bengal. Covered a larger area than the Mughals ever did. And it lasted longer also, double. If you take from Akbar to Aurangzeb as the core Islamic rule, then it is 150 years. But here is 300 years, not a paragraph in our history books. Then this Ahom dynasty in Assam, 600 years. 3 major invasions were launched by the Mughal rulers. They defeated all 3. Then you have, of course, Shivaji, Rana Pratap, and Guru Gobind Singh. I mean, what Guru Gobind Singh's contribution, it would be not much of an exaggeration to say, I would not be a Hindu today but for Guru Gobind Singh. And his father, Guru Tegh Bahadur, what hell he went through because he wouldn't agree to conversion. So these are not taught. How can you be proud of your past if you don't know these stories, these facts, you see?
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. धन्यवाद, नमस्कार.